It's still, it's a work in progress, and I think sometimes it's hard to say if success on our part is the fact that they're not quite executing at their level, or if we're really getting what's going on. I think we have simplified some things, and I think that's helped our guys play a little bit faster. Coming back off of spring break, that was one of the things that we evaluated as a defensive staff. That hey, let's hold things back a little bit. Let's simplify what we're trying to do. Let our guys master some things. Let them play a little bit faster. Get kind of used to the tempo the offense is playing at. And certainly having some veteran guys back, like Haule coming back, and getting John Timu out there, I think all those things kind of start to help gel things together.
Are there some other things that maybe you've learned about your group in the couple weeks off and just watching the film?
I think for us, it's really just about, I think we have a veteran group for the most part on the defensive line, with the guys that, have a lot of reps behind them. And spring ball sometimes is, especially when you are an upperclassman, this is, hey, we were trying to get to the season. And when it's a new system and it's a new coaching staff, you got to take a different approach. It's now I got to go show myself all over again and prove myself all over again. And I think those guys were feeling us out for the first couple weeks. We made it very clear what we expect when we came back from break, and I think they've responded extremely well.
How hard is it going to be for a freshman or a sophomore to see the field at D-line this year?
Well, we have to play a lot of bodies because of the style of teams that we play against. So while it's going to be difficult, I would think, for a freshman to break into the starting lineup, there's probably going to be some freshmen that are going to play. We signed 7 defensive linemen in this class. Well, 6, but Jamie Bryant was in the previous class, but he's here now too. So that's a lot of guys. We're going to have some of those guys step up. You would think that out of a group that large, you're going to have 1 or 2 that's going to be ready to come in and contribute in some way, shape, or form.
What do you think about the depth you have there, just right now, just the guys?
I mean, you always need a lot of D linemen. I mean, it's a very demanding position. Those guys take a tremendous amount of abuse up front. The style of play that we have in this league in particular is very up tempo, and those guys get worn out. And so if you don't have depth at the defensive line, you're not going to have a very good football team. So we're blessed in that we have some guys that have played, and we brought some guys in to try to bring that depth as well.
Jamie Shelton talked about Elijah Paul's pushing him right now. What are you seeing from Paul?
Yeah, I think he's a young guy who's been in the program a little bit, and he's making, he's one of those guys that, like a lot of young guys, he has a really good day and then he has a day that's not so good. And so what we're looking for him is for him to develop consistency. And having a mentor like Danny, I think that's a real positive thing for him.
Jeff, you mentioned Jamie Bryant. What were your thoughts when you saw film of him, knowing that you could get him for the second half, and maybe an initial impression of him?
Yeah, so I actually recruited Jamie when I was at Washington State. So I was very familiar with him. I saw him play against Linden in the state championship game his senior year. Knew quite a bit about him. So I just wasn't quite sure what the situation was in terms of the gray shirt deal and what, I had to kind of do some research to find out what the agreement was that he had with the previous coaching staff. And so I had a meeting with he and his mom, and kind of a couple of reasons. Number one, to discover if this was something he still wanted to do, and make sure that, we were comfortable with the situation, and all that panned out. And so Jamie's a good kid. We're excited to have him here. He's from a great program. Always wanted to be a dog, and those are the type of guys that we need to keep in state.
When you were